But like I'm like, oh, this guy was drunk, just running down the hallway butt naked, just jacking off in front of everybody. Like, what's the boy guy? Then my wife has to hear about like, okay, I was tripped out, so I couldn't jack off. Like, yeah, but you were there still naked. Who else was there?
Welcome to another episode of Careful Boys. Today we have Minh Nguyen with us today. Question time. What is a massive failure that you experienced that you were able to flip into a success?
Wow.
Any moments where something completely...
Oh, my marriage actually flipped into a success. We had a bad marriage. And, you know, it's like I walked into money too early, and being Asian and having friends that doing Asian things, they always have cash available, and you have cash.
Like they love gambling and
coffee shops, partying, and going to Vegas.
What's so intriguing about the coffee shops?
Their espressos are so good.
Smoothies, the avocado smoothies.
They make it really strong.
The roundness of their beans.
You think about at 30, I found the woman of my dreams. I love her, but then like you never walked into all that type of money before in the coffee shop, and then you go to Vegas. You can fly to Vegas like that. You can go to Cabo like that. So
Vegas, huh?
There was like our marriage was our relationship was like turned upside down. She couldn't trust me. I didn't care, and then I did care, but I didn't care because I knew like it's like you have a good investment, but right now, do you really want to go all in on this investment, or there's like other investments that you might see, and
at the coffee shop.
Like, that is, well, that's where my friends were scouting out investments. So I'm like, you know what? I'm along for the ride. I'm not drinking. I'll bring my own coffee. I got coffee at home, my own espresso machine. But you know what? If we're out here, we're hanging out. I'll check out the espresso machine.
There's a bunch of altcoins over there.
So
he's got his Bitcoin, but it's too boring.
Yeah. In 2017, when we lost it all, I felt like I had a second chance at life. Like, you know what? I'm like, God, if you, like, just like everyone, right? When you lose God, if you get me out of this, I promise I will turn my shit around. And I had my son. I remember I was carrying upstairs one time when we were still together. Like, I started, you have this montage of like what you should have done and should have done. And then like, let me get my second chance. I remember I was coming home, I was coked out, and I was helping my son. I fell on the ground. And my son, he was like 2 or 3. Like, think about this. I'm a fat kid. I'm like falling on my ground with my kid. And I felt like all those mistakes I made, if I get this chance to turn around, I did. So like when I got my shit together, you know, we had to sell our house. We like pretty much liquidated everything. And when I got my shit together, I turned it all around. Like, all right, cool. Like, I had to make a list of things I cannot do because I feel like I'm like party boy. I'm like,
no coke, maybe.
No coke, but the big one that she wouldn't want, it was like no coke with women in the bathroom. That was like a no.
Wow, so specific. Wow, damn.
So you could do coke, just no women
with the boys.
You could do women outside of the bathroom. Just
so though, these are the things these are the no lists. So like I literally had to ostracize myself from a lot of my friends, and because like Frank the Tank, right? Like you put yourself in that position once it hits the lips,
it's too good.
Yeah, I think that's in every Asian man's blood. Like most, right? Like you can stay away from it, but once
I'll say it. Yes, it's in some of our blood.
I don't think about it. You see Asian people partying in their 40s and 50s. Yeah. You don't see that. You know, randomly you'll see a random Caucasian, but most of the time it's this Asian person like.
Oh yeah.
They're not just staring into the sky.
That's true. I'll be at a rave and you see an Asian uncle. That's like, bro, you're like 65. Why the fuck are you on ecstasy?
But they're there. But you see a lot of them are there. So like I made a list of things I stopped doing, and then through that I restored my marriage. I feel like the success of my marriage, like even though something started out, people say like it's how you build something in the beginning will decide how it's going to be like later on. Yeah. If I went off of that, our marriage would have been destroyed. But I changed my ways, built a new foundation, even though it was jacked up, and like we have a successful marriage.
That's a great example, actually. Yeah.
Nice, you're able to redeem yourself.
That's a huge one. That's good.
Have you ever done coke with your wife in the bathroom?
Yes, but in the earlier years.
Okay.
Earlier years.
That must have been fun.
But she just stopped her parting ways.
Yeah, when we had our kid, or before we had our kid, I think before she got pregnant, she stopped. And I don't think she ever turned back. For me, it's like, okay, I'm about to have a kid. Let me turn it up before
last chance, man.
And then I think then it's just in you. I think, but like I said, I think it's an Asian thing. I'm almost like, I know more Asian people in their 40s still like, how are you still partying? How are you still going to raves? How are you still going to like Avalon? How are you like, oh, Avalon still exists. Like, how do you go to Dre's still? Like, how do you still do all these things? It's mostly, and now like, the Asian people are good hustlers, so they figure out how to make money and be crackheads at the same time.
That's true. They're like the most responsible crackheads.
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Yeah, so like to get out of all that, to being an Asian, being successful, and not be a crackhead, that's like a testament of itself.
The hard part is not being a crackhead.
Getting a crackhead. When you start as a crackhead, if you weren't a crackhead in the beginning, it's easy. But when you were a crackhead, to convert not to no crackhead, it's
Especially
hard.
if you've ever had some success while on crack, it's hard to not do the crack.
Correct.
Like, I'm unstoppable, baby.
Yeah.
I just need a little more crack and think about.
Because there's hella Asian business guys that are in their 70s still going to casinos till like 4 in the morning and drunk with their friends, and then they go right into their company the next day. And I'm like, where do you have this energy?
The red line.
That's where the cocaine
The
comes
coke,
in handy.
the coke.
Or the Asian youth. That could be
Yeah.
it.
And it's true from being a cook or a restaurant manager to a corporate guy. You just see all of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the genetics.
And the next day they go to work, Michelin star meal.
Bam.
Like nothing happened.
Jimi Hendrix.
A
did.
very cut and dry one for you. That's very obvious.
Go for it.
Because we beat them at this dance show on TV. His team. The prize was $100,000, and they were like, "Oh, we can't open our studio now." And then they did a GoFundMe and made more money than that. Oh wow! Isn't that sick?
And they opened up their studio.
And they opened up the studio.
First runner-up has its perks.
And then we got taxed, and it only came out to like 65 grand.
Well, they split it with like 50 members.
That was probably the only like true like we didn't accomplish something we wanted to, and then something came out of it. Because I can't think of any other thing that's similar to that.
Really?
All other things are like you like fully closed one door through something like a failure, and because that door was closed, you could walk through a different one.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
well, I feel like this question is like really interesting and cool. Like when you talk about your marriage, that it's like it's you're failing in one part of it, and then you turn it around and like salvage it, and that's the only thing that I have that's like close to it.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, when you go on a mission on even like a TV show to win it, and then you don't win it, like you think that's your failure, but like through that exact thing, like you find some sort of like salvation, like that's really interesting. Any other thing, like I feel like my favorite moments where I was like, dang, I failed at that, it like was the right way for like life lessons to be like, you weren't meant to do that, you're actually maybe meant to go do this.
But that is a win too, right? Or no? It doesn't feel like a.
Yeah, but like I feel like it doesn't as more uniquely answer the question is all. Because like closed doors, you know, like opening other ones is like really that happens every day, right? Like when something's not meant to go.
Yeah,
it's like a relationship. It's like you broke up with that girl, and then now you made space to find other fish in the sea.
To find another girl.
Yeah.
It's rare that it's
like-
the same.
He
Like, we had
redeemed
a-
it.
Yeah, we had a failure in
I was like, all work, yeah.
Yeah,
so
instead
that's why I
of going like, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy that story, because I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Like when you really think like that was kind of an end, but then you turned it around and you're like, I'm gonna follow these rules. I'm gonna do these things because I care about it, and I'm gonna change. That's like a really beautiful story.
Thank you.
That's so good.
I feel like, do you ever feel like that, like with business, or you guys try things like? I think the hardest thing is like, when is the failure time to like move on, or when's the failure time to turn it around? I think that's the hard thing. I think in business where.
I think that's constant.
That's just
Like, do you turn it around, or you go on to the next thing?
No, I think that's the constant question in business. Like no one questions it while you're making hella money and everything is moving forward, but you question it when it's difficult, or you don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when you get things like in abundance and things are successful and moving quickly, you're like okay with all of the flaws because you're still just moving forward so quickly.
Yeah.
And you can sometimes buy off the flaws too.
Yeah.
Somehow you can make it go away because you can hire someone or whatever.
Ironically, actually, even with our Kinja's Dojo, the name of the studio that we opened for like losing the dance show, crowdfunding, opening the studio, it's through the pandemic that we had to close all the studios, and that was like another huge one where I was like, dang, like I could make myself feel better and be like, the global pandemic was not my doing and responding to it. You know what I mean? Like I can't be like I failed, but no matter what, when you're an entrepreneur and you created something and a part of it dies, you do feel like you failed. It has no idea. It's not about the bearings of like the situation that you can't control. in your mind and in your heart, you're like, what did I do wrong or what could I have done better? Ironically, though, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have created the online tutorial platform for Kinja's Dojo, which I say ironically because I don't think that that's like this giant success by any means. But because of like where we're at in life, our age, and where we want priorities for like having our time back and our space to do other things, that makes the same amount of money from a net profit standpoint as our like first smaller studio. But in terms of the liability, we're like, we don't have a physical spot. We don't have people walking to our space every single day. We don't have to have operations, upkeep managers, like interns and everything.
And you're not tied to a location.
People clogging and breaking bathrooms.
Absolutely.
Dude, some people take some pretty big shit.
And they don't even clean up after themselves.
Or they pee all over the seat. They're like, now you gotta get in there and you gotta.
girls.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
And we go in and it's very, very low cost in operation, both in time and effort and energy, for actually the same amount of outcome in terms of net income, and it's like way stress free. So there's kind of a cool like, oh, like
really cool,
we couldn't take the Kinja's Dojo where we were originally planning. We're trying to open up hella studios. So like that concept of the dream failed in a sense, but like now what it's given us all back in terms of our time. And when you're older, when you're young, you're like, yeah, dude, dance dream, I want to open up a studio. We had that dream then.
Yeah.
When you do it and then it closes, you don't have that dream anymore. You're like, it's all good. That was tight while it lasted. But now we can still like have it, have a connection to our students, but not have the same like stress and liability.
Now all my dreams are what's the most stress-free dreams.
Oh, what the
Because if like pandemic didn't happen, we might still just be running a bunch of studios and like just going down that whole path. I'm not saying that's a bad one, but I'm like, there's kind of a win in like, you know, figuring it out.
Yeah,
That's a massive
lot of work.
win. Yeah, that's huge.
Damn. I'm trying to think like
If you have some dumb luck ones, that counts too. Like if you got a
Turning
flat tire
around.
and then you couldn't make it to a building and it exploded. It doesn't all have to be real cool like men's.
It's fucking dope though.
You're not gonna beat that already. So you might as well give us the dumb ones.
well the fact that your wife didn't even leave you. That's also
Dumb luck.
Well, so when in 2000, so when we sold our house in 2018, she moved to rent this house. I moved back to my parents' house because she told me like, hey, you know, you fucked up, but I'm gonna go live here. But I think stressing you out about being a father and a husband, you're not gonna be able to pay off all this debt. I could have filed BK, but because, you know, during that time I leveraged my brother's credit to do a lot of things. I'm like, dude, I cannot let my brother go down with the ship. Like, so I moved back to my parents so I can focus on work. I saw my kid once a month after the first couple months of like trying to get my my bearings back, and she just waited. But I know she's like, I asked her if she had a deadline. She's like, she didn't have a deadline, but she wasn't gonna wait forever. So it was like March 2018 till November. I was negative, like I was negative 1.1. I ended up being negative 660 once I liquidated everything. I paid it all back in November, and then, you know, near the tail end before that, we kind of started hanging out again. But I had to like earn her trust again, like kind of pretty much romance her again. Be like, we were married, but not. We were kind of living separate lives, and then it took a while.
But you cleared all debt within like 8 months.
Dude. Yeah, 8 months. Yeah, because I lived at home with my parents. So, dude, every month. Yeah, live at home with the parents.
Crazy.
So when you live home with your parents, like, okay, like, and then you like the montage every time I'm sleeping at my parents' house, like my old bedroom, which was pink. I'm like, my mom, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sitting there in a pink bedroom, right, looking at the skies. When I'm like, dude, I'm in all this debt. I'm like in my
Looking at the painted clouds.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm in my. At that point, like, was it like I'm 37 or 38. I'm here at my parents' house. Like, what the F happened to my life? I saw the montage of like, I had it all. I had a beautiful wife. I had a beautiful kid. I had all this money. I blew it all. Like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't. And that, like, being there, kind of like, okay, you're gonna turn around. So we separated in a sense where she was doing her thing, but she let me, you know, build my time and like get my shit together. So that's why, like, nowadays, like, if she doesn't work, she doesn't do anything, I don't even care, because like she waited it out for me.
Did you have to downgrade your house like crazy? Like, were you balling out in your house too?
We were balling out. Like, dude, we had people help out. Like, I had my own, like, our house wasn't that big. It was like probably a little over 4,000 square foot. I had my own.
That's big as fuck.
I had
a forever home.
I had a handyman.
You had a handyman?
So I could
groundskeeper?
I had a handyman in my house where, like, to hang up walls, to put together toys, to do whatever, like, you know, put up Christmas lights. Like I had a full-time handyman, like those things. So those things I kind of went away. And
Did he have a green card?
Yes. He actually was serving in the military, so he like served in the military. Yeah, he was just he hurt himself. He just needs stuff to do. But yeah, like downsizing was hard, but overall it was the best thing. Now, like what lesson I learned the most? I will not spend money or put energy in it unless it made me taller, made me skinnier, made my dick bigger, or made me fuck harder. If it doesn't do any of that stuff, I'm not invested in it. That's a good compass, honestly. So like, what? Like, okay, if I'm not gonna be taller, if I can be skinnier, I won't make my dick bigger or fuck harder. Oh no, never mind.
That's tight. At what point did you give up the Lambo?
2008, when we were losing everything, we had to get rid of everything.
That'd be pretty fun if you hung on to it the whole time.
I can't go on this.
No, I was like, dude, the car.
No, don't make me.
I think the one thing I force myself not to do, which will bring, like I said, once it hits the tongue, the lips, I don't skip lines anymore. Skipping lines to me, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, motherfucker, I don't gotta wait for anyone. I'm like beyond shit. Oh. So now when I go, like I'll purposely wait in line to get served, or like we'll go to Disneyland, I'll wait in line, or before I would pay someone to, hey, go get in line for me, I pay him, I bring someone to Disneyland to go wait in line for me, and then I'll just jump the line, and then hey, they took my spot. Wow. So now it's like I'll wait in line before they came out with the whole fast pass and all that other stuff. So now it's like I want to live the normal life because I want to be able to, because once it gets in you again.
Dude, you're like fucking Mike Tyson, you know that?
Yeah.
Because Mike Tyson would be like, I can't run on the treadmill because then the warrior fucking starts coming out. And he's like, I want to eat the world. And then that's why Mike Tyson, Joe Rogan was asking him, like, do you train at all? He goes, I can't even train one bit. The minute I go on the treadmill, I just want to kill everybody. So he just didn't even like open the animal. So he's like just this passive tiger. And I feel like that's you. Like the minute you start delegating, then you're like, the fucking min rises.
Oh yeah, that's why like those things so when you turn around, like you gotta like, okay, your old habits made a list of like these are things you cannot do. Like we'd go to restaurants, like tip the what's called the girl like $100 just like,
the hostess
so I can sit you right away. Like I would go, like I'll wait it out.
Wow.
So
wow. Okay.
How hard is it to see that world and then try to unsee it? Isn't it hard to unsee it?
I'm happy now. Like when you're miserable because now you're chasing to keep it. You know, it's like you're playing this game like trying to hold it all together. Like you have a lot, or like I just hold one phone. Happy, I can keep going with my life. Or like I'm holding 10 phones together. Like, oh my gosh, these are mine. You know, no, this shit is mine. Oh, that wasn't ringing. Like, you don't want to live. You know, it sounds cool.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
I think I want 10 phones.
What's that guy's life?
Yeah, like the peace of mind, huh?
That guy's really important.
Is that on Pokemon Go?
Got peace of mind. You know?
I'm closing the deal here.
Yeah, dude, that's
Now I was like,
pretty
take the deal. Take the deal. I don't care.
I wish we could see that actual list, like all those things that you can't do. And let's just do them. Let's go down the list.
If I buy a pair of shoes, I won't buy them in different colors. Because then as you now you have to buy. Now I can buy fucking all 10 colors.
I mean, that's normal. That one you did not put that on there. That's kind of.
Like, do you ever have this urge of like maybe like once a year I'll go to Vegas and live that and then get it out of my system, or it's just out of your system?
Social media. Like I don't want to show up on the internet. Oh, like you have to show. Oh, it's a guy. What's the mortgage guy from the? Like, so I don't want any of that. And then like I don't want my wife has loved me so much. I don't want her to get embarrassed.
But they got those VIP rooms, no cameras, you know.
But like I'm like, oh, this guy was drunk, just running down the hallway butt naked, just jacking off in front of everybody. Like, what's the mortgage guy? Then my wife has to hear about like, okay, I was put down, so I couldn't jack off. Like, yeah, but you were there still naked. Who else was there?
It's the Mike Tyson, dude.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not, because like those are things that like they start leading to it. Like so now if I drink, like I drink Captain Diet, but I don't go past number 7, because number 7 go to the 8th drink. Also like the tingling is like, oh, maybe a little bump's gonna like keep the edge going. Like all right, then I can keep going longer. You know, like, oh, I just do it more because if my dick don't work, then my wife can't say I cheated. I can never cheat. So like, you start justifying. Like, never mind. Like, you know what? Keep it. Drink number 7. Call it a night. Uber home. You know. Yeah. I was with.
If I was your dealer, I'd be like, hey, this will make you taller.
Oh yeah. so like I was with my buddy and he was like we were at this event for our work and I got this prize thing, and then you go out, you're drinking, and all of a sudden like we go to this bar in Orange. Dude, Orange County has tons of them. They're like sugar babies like crazy there. So I'm there, and I'm
At
like,
the bar.
At the bar. So, like, someone knew I used to party in the day. So, like, they like, hey, I hear you used to party. I'm going home. Let me give that. I'm like, of course, as a crackhead, instead of like, no, I won't take this. Like, let me put it back in the sock. So I put it in my sock, and I said my sock, even though I don't do it anymore. Like, okay, it doesn't count as doing it if it seeps through the bag and goes in my leg. Like, if my pores open up, that doesn't count, right? When you see that doesn't count.
Logic.
So like, I'm there, like, and so I'm pacing up and down the bar as fast as I can. I think I'll start sweating soon. I start sweating, goes through the bag, goes in my sock. So you're there. So I'm like, I'm sitting there playing this game like an idiot because I went getting close to drink number 7. So I get out of the bathroom because I'm like, all right, man, like maybe my leg is like too dry. Let me like maybe it's not going.
Maybe I'll fucking
Let me wet it.
cut my veins.
This is like Mormon.
And then
It's like Mormon
so like,
soaking, yeah.
but instead of having like logical like comments like no, I'm not gonna do this. Like that's why when you get past that drink, you're like, my buddy's there with his wife. They meet this girl and they're like, oh my god, I think it's gonna be like this menage a twizzle happening or something. And then they're like,
Are you
talking
hanging
to me.
with Snoop?
And I'm sitting there going, oh my god, oh my god. And then he's like, I'm like, you know what? I just gave him the bag and I left. And like, I'm sitting there going like, all of that played through my head when I should have just went home. So like that. Yeah. So those are the things why like
The environment.
the environment.
Yeah,
like,
don't dance with the devil.
Yeah. So like when you do it's like,
Yeah, man.
it's like it's already there and you're like playing this game in your head when you should just go home and go to bed.
Yeah, you gotta
You
get
know,
out of that
your
Molly
health
Malone's.
insurance. You know, I'm
Stay
like,
out of Molly Malone's in Tustin, dude.
That's like me passing by Del Taco at 2 a.m.
yeah. Why are you driving by? It's even if you were not a 2, you know.
And then I loop around the block and go, maybe I should just get one quesadilla.
It's good protein.
Yeah, real similar to putting a bag of Coke in your socks.
The same.
Hope that you absorb it.
Everyone has their own thing, right?
I'm like, maybe I could just chew it and then spit it out instead of swallowing it. Maybe that'll work.
Maybe if I just put it all over my skin, it'll come through.
That's nice for you to be able to foresee that and like get yourself out of there, man.
Yeah, well, that was like, this was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, so it's like, that was 4 or 5 months
That's
ago. So like,
between the last time we saw you.
yeah, that was like, okay, I'm in the clear, but then
Nice.
like, that's why when you start drinking a little bit, then it's like, oh yeah.